This is Canadian Cult Cinema. Deranged is also known as Deranged Confessions of a Necrophile. It's a 1974 Canadian film, probably best described as a horror/dark comedy. The film is based on Ed Gein, although the character in the film is called Ezra Cobb. Ed Gein is an American murderer and body snatcher. Gein gathered widespread notoriety after authorities discovered that he had exhumed corpses from a local graveyard and fashioned trophies and keepsakes from their bones and skin. Ugh. His incredibly creepy story has inspired many movies like Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, The Silence of the Lambs, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw was actually released a few months after Deranged in 1974. Deranged actually follows Gein's story closer than any of those other films, but still takes some liberties, like I mentioned, renaming the main character Ezra Cobb. Cobb is played by Robert Blossom, who's probably best remembered from his role in Home Alone, where he played Old Man Marley, the shovel-wielding old man that saves Kevin at the end. In that movie, he was rumored to be the South End Slayer and was said to have murdered his family and half the people on the block with a snow shovel back in 1958. In Deranged, a reporter calls him a murderer, grave robber, and possible necrophiliac that's better known as the Butcher of Woodside. Blossom is an incredible actor. He's had some great small roles in Christine and Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He had a very active career, but Deranged was his only starring role. Deranged tells the story of Ezra Cobb. He takes care of his bedridden mother, who is very domineering, and teaches him that all women are evil. Well, except for Maureen Shelby. She can be trusted because she's fat.
Maureen's the only woman I ever did trust. She's fat, that's why. A big heifer. But she's the only good-hearted woman I ever knew.
After his mother dies, Ezra misses her deeply. He digs up her body and takes her home, but after being buried for over a year, she's not looking so well. He learns about taxidermy and begins robbing graves to get materials to patch her up, and inevitably he begins looking for fresher body parts.
See, Mama? All I got to do is stitch it on you.
The first woman he kills is the aforementioned Maureen Shelby. There's a darkly funny scene where Ezra is talking to his now dead mother about Maureen and about how he likes her fat, but thinks she might be crazy, all while eating a chicken leg over his mother's corpse.
You know, the only thing that bothers me, I don't think she's, all there. In upstairs.
There are some rather disturbing scenes, like when Ezra kidnaps a waitress and ties her to a chair at a dinner table surrounded by corpses. There's a similar scene that shows up in Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well. The film's premise is disturbing, but there's a lot of really dark humor that balances it out. Well, maybe balances it out is a wrong turn of phrase. It does make the film feel tonally strange, but I think that's what also makes it work. Ezra openly confesses his crimes several times, but everyone just thinks he's joking.
That dang fool barmaid, that Mary, what's her name? Don't they know they ain't never gonna find that girl now?
She ain't missing. I got her.
You got her?
I got her.
Yes, what do you mean you got her?
That was my place. Mama, Miss Johnson, a lot of others too.
Robert Blossom's performance as Ezra Cobb is excellent. He portrays the character as equally charming, sympathetic, disturbed, and downright creepy. Deranged was directed by both Jeff Gillen and Alan Ormsby. It's Gillen's only directing credit, but he did play Santa Claus in A Christmas Story.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
He and Ormsby both had roles in the horror comedy Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Alan Ormsby would later go on to become a screenwriter, penning the scripts for Cat People, Porky's 2, and Popcorn, just to name a few. The film was produced by Tom Carr, who had previously worked as a concert promoter. He promoted for the likes of Rod Stewart and Led Zeppelin. Although uncredited, Bob Clark, the director of Black Christmas, was also a producer. According to IMDb, Clark was approached to direct the film, but felt the script was too disturbing for his taste, so he opted to produce instead. This was the first film for a young makeup artist named Tom Savini. He would go on to become legendary in the field, and he's worked on basically everything cool. Deranged was set in Wisconsin, but shot in and around Oshawa, Ontario, and you can clearly see an Ontario license plate on the car in front of the bar. And I said that in the most Canadian way possible. Car in front of the bar. My only real criticism is the reporter/narrator character. He shows up in the beginning of the film and introduces the story, and later shows up in scenes and breaks the fourth wall to give us some more exposition.
After that, Ezra made many visits to the graveyard, bringing home bodies.
It takes you out of the story, and perhaps that was its intent. I do appreciate the fact that it is really unconventional. I really enjoyed Deranged. It's equal parts disturbing and hilarious. And like I said, it definitely is unconventional, but it's absolutely worth tracking down. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and share button, and if you want to see more reviews from Canadian cult cinema, please hit subscribe. We're still in the early days of this channel, but there are lots of videos up to watch already, like my review of the Canadian post-apocalyptic film Death Con 4, or the excellent modern-day slasher Tragedy Girls. I'd love to know what some of your favorite Canadian cult films are. Please leave a comment, and until next time, see ya. This is Canadian Cult Cinema.